The other day, I was running on a treadmill in the fitness gym. Right in front of me was a runner or walker track that circled around inside the building. I saw an elderly woman walking nearer to me along the track. We greeted to each other. She passed in front of me and I kept running on the machine. Then I found an interesting thing. In the empty air where she had passed, her image was remaining. The woman kept going ahead to pass right in front of me every couple of minutes. But some yellowish figure, like a shadow, was still remaining on the spot. I felt some sort of energy or consciousness like thing sticking to it. Then I thought, spirit can even be present apart from the original physical human body, but they are very different. They don't seem to recognize each other. Ever since the pandemic period started, I see those things more often and more clearly. I might have ignored them before, but I became more conscious of those presence than before. First, there was poltergeist activities happening here and there in the house. Conversations, singing voices, music were heard in my ears, and those intense things disappeared in a few weeks. I spoke about those things with my therapist and psychiatrist, and it was concluded that those had occurred because of my stress that I had during the early stage of the pandemic period, where I had to stay at home the whole day. I have seen a therapist and psychiatrist for decades because I have this Asperger's symptoms, which is what I grew up with ever since when I was very little. Anyway, this pandemic pushed me back into the psychic dimension or density, which I had long forgotten. But to be honest, I don't feel I became smarter or stepped up to a higher level. But thankfully, I feel I can access the Lotus Sutra or the Heart Sutra with a fresh mind. These Buddhist scriptures make me want to see the world of the deceased people I love, as well as parallel worlds where we might be living differently. When I communicate with my parents spiritually, who are currently living in a small town in Japan, I might be interacting with my parents of another parallel world. They act or speak like my real parents do of this world, but they don't directly or explicitly associate to each other. Just like the yellowish shadow I saw from the elderly woman who was walking in the fitness gym. I then wonder, would those ghostly figures be nothing but an image generated from my memory or consciousness? I might have talked about this in another recording, but at my age 7 or so, I saw myself in my 30s. What he was saying to me turned out to be really happening when I became around his age. Here's another episode when I was in junior high school. I had seen a vision, not a dream, that I was making a speech on the podium of a high school gym building in front of a couple hundred students. The students gave me a big applause. I was speaking to them something like this. We students should act more spontaneously and not just follow what teachers or rules have told us to do, or something like that. And 2 years later, when I turned 17, I was saying the same thing at pretty much the same place, and I got the same big applause from those couple hundred students in the school gym. And now it makes me wonder, was this part of my memory or something else? It all sounds really nuts, but part of myself is trying to access myself living somewhere else to let them hear all this. So excuse me for this, but it makes me wonder, a human may or may not have the complete sets of information internally already, with numerous patterns and possibilities from all dimensions, regardless it be of the past or of the future or of anything else. Past and future might be shaped or located within a geographical coordinate system. So information or memory from the past can take shapes as an image on my present consciousness. And in the same manner, information from the future can also take shapes as an image on my present consciousness. The only difference is whether I retrieve such information or image from first quadrant or second or other quadrant. And if I speak in parable, I always stand right now on the origin point 000 of the XYZ coordinate system.